Good morning everyone. I'm Dr. S. Manasa, Assistant Professor from Institute of Aeronautical Engineering, Hyderabad. So today I'm going to discuss about topic gender analysis and relationship matrix. So let us see what is this. So in this gender analysis, we will be dealing about the concepts and the tools which are used for the analyzing the gender ratio. So these contain the indicators and tools for the gender analysis. So first of all, let us look at the introduction about the gender analysis. So what is it? So gender analysis is nothing but analyzing what is the ratio of the gender and how they are means what whether the equality is given, what is the statistics of their ratio as well as their achievement, means whether these all countries are following the gender equality or whether it is persisting or just for the namesake this gender equality or discrimination is there. So what kind of these things are happening, so that is discussed by the term called gender analysis. We live in societies that are permeated by the gender differences as well as gender inequalities. So though we say that we should have gender equality, there should not be any difference between the male or the female, but the reality is every state or the society or the country has some of the other differences. Always there been existing the inequality in terms of the gender. And there is no country in which the outcomes of public policy are equal for men and women. And the dimensions of these inequalities are oftenly deeply embedded that they are difficult to perceive even. So that inequalities have been so much that they are very difficult to perceive even. So this kind of the discrimination or the inequality is still existing in all society. So the gender analysis reveals these differences. So it talks about what kind of differences are there and the fact that in such a social context, any gender inventions that profess gender neutral will in fact reflect and probably reinforce the imbalance that are existing. So it will talk about what are the differences that are existing and what are the interventions, gender interventions and what to be taken in order to make the gender neutrality. So the problems that are present and also what can be taken in order to make the gender equality. So this complete analysis is called gender analysis, and it is required to bring these inequalities to the surface, to the attention of the people who can make a difference, and so that their decisions are taken in a manner that since they are sensitive and they are reflects the outcomes of gender analysis. So wherever the gender discrimination or the inequalities existing, first of all they have to be taken to the particular person or the locality of the people who discriminate, and then tell that because of this there is a loss of thing, means this is being reflected in the society and thereby it affects the other gender people. So this going the particular problem to the particular person who are mainly responsible for and making them aware that let us not do this kind of the discrimination or the inequalityness. So this describes the gender analysis. So in a short term, how we can speak about gender analysis is it is an intrinsic dimensions of policy analysis, which identifies especially how public policy affects women and men differently. So, because of your the tradition or the culture or the way you live, how it is affecting the people that are present in the society. So how it is affecting women and men, and how it is leading to the discrimination in the society. And this gender analysis demonstrate that the policy and implementation cannot be gender neutral in a gendered society. So this says that the implementation is not possible in both ways equally. See, if you have to bring about the women empowerment, then you have to look at the pros and cons, that the because of the other gender, then what is the effect on the women's discrimination. So if you try to encourage both, means the both implementation is cannot be equal for the both genders. So either you have to encourage some gender and then see what are the cons, means what, because of what kind of effects that's been carried out for other gender, and how it is affecting on the other gender. So this is what happening, and this is supported by the specific analytic tools. So they have some analytical tools, so based on which all these kind of this analysis can be carried out, and as a together as some statistical data can be generated and can be analyzed, that how it is been affecting. So the complete set of gender analysis is being carried out. So then how a ideal or the good gender analysis should be done. So what should it provide is the gender awareness, that you should make people to understand or good to get aware of the other gender. Let us not discriminate anyone, and let us try to have a positive movement of the other gender and try to encourage them. So it is understanding of gender relations and their implications for the development of policy and implementation of these policies, and the awareness that is being done. The analysis of the division of the labor, like in terms of activities, as well as the access to the particular things, as well as control. So this analysis is based on the division of the labor. So in terms of particular things, like if the activity is given, then let us not look at the activity based on the gender, and access to the kind of some workplaces, some women are not accessed, and those are specifically for the men. So that kind of the opportunities for the women and men, how it is we have to look at, and the control. So what are the regulation limit to which the men or women can be gone. So this division of labor analysis can be done, and also a review of men and women's priorities. So what is their priority in carrying out some particular things, can be like restraining and driving forces. So what are the positive driving forces to carry a particular thing, or the restraining, so which is limiting them to not to carry out. So we have to have a review of their priorities, both the genders priorities. And next one is recommendations to the address practical or and strategic needs. So we have to see what is their recommendation on address practical as well as strategic needs, what they need exactly. And this analysis also should have a productive and unpaid reproductive work. So based on the gender, what kind of productive and unproductive or the reproductive work is being carried out by the both genders. So based on all these, the analysis has been done. Then what is the purpose of carrying out this gender analysis? Why we have to carry out is the question. Is because to reveal the connections between the gender relations and the development problem to be solved, infectious disease, preparedness and prevention as well as control to the surface the fact that gender relations are likely to have an impact on the solution to the problem to indicate exactly what is the impact likely to be. It can be alternative course of action. So we should see what is happening and how to control if something is happening, how to control that, and prevention and it related to the both the genders, and it gives what is the connection between the two genders and how we can eradicate the problem between these two genders in order to promote to each gender equally. So this is the purpose of carrying out the gender analysis. So we have studied what is the purpose now. Then what is this gender analysis is about? So exactly to say as a single term, it is a systematic gathering and examination of information on gender differences as well as social relations in order to identify, understand and readdress inequities based on the gender. So first of all, gathering of the information, what area in which what kind of things are going on, and examining this and understanding and identify where are the loops, and then make a statistical thing, then make as an analyzing. So all together analysis what is happening. So gender analysis is a valuable descriptive as well as a diagnostic tool for anyone who is wishing to become a transformative and development planner. So if you are thinking to develop this particular society or the nation towards equal gender nation, then this will be a valuable informative source where you get the complete analysis so that you can think over what can be the plan or the agenda to make them equal, both the genders equal, and what kind of promotive chances or the programs that you can develop. So the complete gender analysis talks about these things, that is what is gender analysis and why to conduct this analysis, and who will conduct the gender analysis, and when to have this conduct this gender analysis, and how it is conducted. So based on all these criteria, the gender analysis has been carried out. So this gender analysis has a policy, program or the project planning and then implementation of that policy as well as evaluation and design of a new program based on the loops and the difficulties after understanding what is happening in a particular society or the nation. So this gender analysis has some things called gender indicators, so which gives the cumulative analysis of these indicators are mainly used for based on the two terms, that is called sex disaggregated statistics, which gives a straightforward number of males and females for a given population. So in a given society or the place, what is the number of male to female. This gives a direct number about the number of males and females, and also the gender statistics. So this can relieve the relationship between the men and women that underlie the numbers. So first one gives direct statistics of number of women and men, and the second one, the gender statistics, gives about what is the relation between that woman and the men, between that number. So gender sensitive indicators provide direct evidence of the status of the woman and men in relation to each other and relative to some agreed normative standard and explicit the reference group. So this gives the evidence of how many men to women are there in a particular group of society. So this gender statics are gender sensitive indicators, like for example how it can be. For example, a gender static, it could be 60% of the women in a country X are literate, as opposed to the 30% of the men, means in 5 years, that is 5 years ago, let us see. So the gender sensitive, this is can be direct statistics, and gender sensitive indicator, how it gives information is like 60% of the women in the country X are literate as compared to the 80% of the men. So it gives among 82% of the men, 60% of the women are literate, and compared to the 30% and 50% respectively 5 years ago. So 60%, it gives the 60% of the women with respect to the 30% of total. So the remaining will be what? 30%, and then 82% of the men means are educated, for example, and 52% of the women are educated. So it gives the statistical evidence of how this men to women relationship is there. So these are the key components of gender analysis. So what to be carried out in the gender analysis? So this is based on these 5 key components. So one is gender roles. So gender roles are the socially determined from the birth. So this we already have discussed in the previous class. So based on the gender roles, as well as based on the division of labor. So based on the gender, how the labor has been divided. So gender roles which influence the labor of division of labor. That means the particular hard work can be carried by the men and the women take care of sensitive work. That kind of division of labor based on the gender. So this is one of the factor. And the next one is labor is valued differently based on who does it. So though both men and women are carrying out, the value of the work is different based on the gender. So this is also one of the factors. So especially the men is given higher payment and the woman will be given less payment. And different roles, work and valuing of work differentiates access in decision making as well as services and benefits. So what is the access to the women and men to have particular service or the benefits are in decision making. So based on these terms, and also the power differentials in valuing the work, access support existing power relations which reinforce gender. So which reinforce the gender roles. So the power means the higher authority are the first one, the dominating, or how you say is the head is given based on the gender. So this kind of discrimination are based on the gender, how they are differentiated, and all these together will contribute to the complete analysis of the gender. So this is gender roles and division of the labor and value of the work, as well as access to the benefits and the services and power. So based on all these five key components, the gender analysis is being made. So in the next class we will see what is gender analysis and how it is carried out. So these are the introduction about the gender analysis. Thank you.
Like, share and subscribe. Hit the bell icon for more updates.